We apologize for the continued delay whilst our team deals with other public calls. Good afternoon, through Dawn. How may I help you?
Hi, good afternoon, Dawn. My name's Brodie McLeod. I got a visit from a police officer yesterday, and I've logged into an online chat session with Devon and Cornwall Police, but you said you haven't got any record of it. It's a little bit strange. I'm just wondering what it was about, if you can give me an update.
Right, sorry, you did like a live chat, a web chat conversation with us, did you?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. And sorry, and the conversation was about what? Sorry.
So yesterday, I was on the phone and I heard a knock at the door and I didn't answer it because it was quite an important call. And then I checked my CCTV and it was a police officer stood outside my door.
Okay. Right.
Tried to put a letter through the front door, but didn't leave it in the end. And then just left. But I don't know what it's about. And obviously, if an officer's calling me, if something's urgent enough to want to kind of, come and deliver a letter in person rather than send it through Royal Mail, then obviously it must be important, and I'm guessing that must be
unless it was a calling card, or it might have been a calling card or something.
No, it was an envelope with some papers in it. I could see it clearly. He was going to post it through the letterbox. My letterbox is not working at the moment.
Right, but you couldn't get to the door to see them at the time.
I was upstairs at the time.
Oh, I see. Oh, right. Okay. It's from the CCTV you've seen that's what it was.
That's right, yeah. I've got a camera on my front door.
Sorry,
I could see he had like a brown envelope with a bunch of papers in there. He did knock on the door. Sort of came and sort of peered. I think he came and looked through my sort of the downstairs window in my house. Actually, even tried to open the door and let himself in. So I mean, obviously, it was quite urgent. Do you know what I mean? I mean, whatever it was must have been important.
Yeah. Do you have an idea? Is there something going on that you think we might have been told about or involved with? Is there anything like that? No,
nothing at all. I mean,
no issues with anyone.
No, I've been in hospital for the last sort of 3 months. I've only been out for about a week, and I haven't had any reason to contact the police or
and not had any issues with anybody that they might have contacted us about.
Well, no, not as far as I know. No, definitely not.
That's okay. I mean, how are you spelling your surname, please?
It's MAC.
Yep.
LEOD.
Lovely. And your first name, was it Brodie? Did you say?
That's right.
Is that BRODY?
No, it's BRODIE.
Yep. DIE, thank you. And can I take a date of birth for you, Mr. McLeod?
Yeah, it's the 28th of June.
28th of June?
1986.
1986. I'm just going to have a quick look under your details just to see whether I can obviously see something that this could be in relation to, okay? And what day was this on, please?
This was yesterday at about 3 p.m.
Okay.
About 20 past 3 turned up, yeah.
I'm assuming you've not received anything in the post today.
I may have done. I haven't. My postal deliveries are held at the local sorting office, so.
Oh, I see. Okay. And the address you're currently living at that the officers came to?
It's number 12, Market Close. That's Tango Quebec 11 0 Quebec Alpha. I think the officer's number you could see. He didn't seem to have shoulder numbers on, but you could see that it looked like it was 4458 or 4456. Couldn't quite make it out from the footage, but first two numbers were definitely 2 4s, the officer's number.
Okay, then a second. I can't obviously see anything under your name, address, that kind of thing to account for it.
That's a little bit strange.
Okay. I'd have to try and make some inquiries with officers from your area.
Have there been any reports of crime about me?
Well, I can't see any reports, any current reports linked to you that this could have been relating to, timescale wise. So I can't obviously think of anything. It's definitely a uniformed officer that attended, from what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, he looked like he was in uniform. But I mean, if you haven't got any record of it, I'm just wondering. I know it sounds a little bit strange, but I mean, is there any chance it might not have been a police officer?
Well, I can't answer that question, can I really, Ms. McLeod? So
well,
all
of course,
I would say
but I'm just saying that. I mean, in terms of the normal procedure, how does it, how does it work? If an officer was going to have a vehicle dispatched to a home address and was going to go to deliver documents, presumably that officer's caseload would have that on record. It would have been, Officer 1 2 3 4 is going out to this address, and.
Okay, if you can let me just respond. The fact that I can't automatically see something on the systems I have access to relating to you, we have a lot of departments in the police force covering a lot of different things. So it could be a number of different, I can't give you an example, but there could be an explanation. It could still be a genuine officer making a genuine inquiry with you, but not under the systems that I have access to.
This is what I'm asking you. Normally, would you expect if an officer was dispatched to a home address, would you normally expect that would be on the system?
Yeah, but what the reason officer coming to, yes, sir. If you just, I think you're trying to jump in when I'm trying to explain something. Okay, officers go to people's addresses under the normal course of their duties for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah.
The systems I look at are systems relating to crime and incident reports.
Okay.
Officers may be making inquiries in relation to different incidents and different reports they've received.
Yeah, this is what I thought. They might be asking for a witness statement from me, or
it could be all sorts of things. That when I look at your name, they don't automatically ping up. Okay. So what I would need to do is I can put a request out on the system to say that you've had this visit come to you, and I'll take some more details, and I'll put it through to that area for circulation to officers that would have been on duty at that time to try and establish a genuine response to this in the first instance, to try and establish whether a genuine officer made that inquiry with you, okay, and for what reason. All right.
Yeah, that's cool. So just to be clear, I haven't been reported for any crimes. I mean, no, this isn't something that, I'm not wanted for arrest or anything like that.
All I'm saying is when I look at your details, I can't identify currently the reason an officer came to see you.
No. But I'm asking you aside from that, I'm not wanted by the police sort of thing.
I can't confirm anything else to you over the phone, only because you could be anyone, Mr. McLeod, in fairness. Yeah? You could be someone saying you're Mr. McLeod. And if I divulge personal information to you, and it's not you, I'm sure you would be upset about that. So
well, at the same time, if somebody's phoning up and they are wanted by the police and they're saying hello, it's me, surely that would be. But I mean, I understand what you're saying.
If you can understand what I'm saying, what I'm saying to you is currently I cannot see a reason why a police officer would want to see you. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand.
I can't understand. I can't account for why an officer may be wishing to visit you from what I'm currently looking at. It doesn't mean to say we don't have a need to speak with you, but from the systems I'm immediately looking at, which is what I have access to, I can't account for that officer's visit. That's all I can say, okay? Doesn't mean to say we don't need to speak to you, but I can't give you the reason for that at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, all I was saying, aside from that, the fact that you can't identify what that call was about, I was just checking that, there isn't anything, there hasn't been any issues. I mean, nothing's happened in the last week. I can't categorically
give that because I don't have access to everything that may be in relation to you. For me to give you a blanket, there is absolutely nothing we are needing to speak to you about, you've not been reported. I can't give that to you because there could be things I'm unaware of. Okay.
It's strange. I mean, I've phoned up 101 before to try and report somebody that was that came and tried to break into my home and threatened to kill me, and they told me about an hour later that person was being arrested and that the police were pursuing that person. I mean, wouldn't that be a data protection breach?
It depends on who contacts you and what information they have. If they're happy to verify that they are speaking with you, I can't speak for every other member of staff. They make that judgment call under the direction of the Data Protection Act. Okay. What I'm saying is you're contacting me. I've no reason to disbelieve you are who you say you are, but we have to be careful and we have to be very mindful that people do pretend to be other people. And I'm not wishing to be obstructive, and I'm trying my best to say to you, I can't see any reason why an officer would be visiting you at this time, and that's the best I can say.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to say categorically nobody has or hasn't reported me for anything.
No,
but you're saying that from what you can see, I'm not wanted for any sort of crime.
Yeah, from what I can see, I can't account for why that officer came to see you. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, fine.
But I can't speak for whether a report is being made or a report is being made recently that I can't access. All of those sorts of things. Things change all the time. So for me to give a blanket, there's absolutely no need. Nothing's been reported about you at all. It would be irresponsible of me to say that when I can't. I don't have access to it.
But from what you can see, it would indicate that it hasn't.
Well, from what I can see, at this time, this is why I want to make more inquiries, because by the sounds of it, a uniformed officer has come to your property for some reason. So at this time, because I can't account for what that reason is, I need to make some more inquiries. Because it could well be that officers are making inquiries. I don't have access to all of those actions and by officers. We don't get things updated to us here in the contact centre for everything. So that's what I want to cover, is that an officer's making inquiries and needs to speak to you for some reason, and it could be all sorts of things. It could be that you live in the neighbourhood of something. It could be that, you've been a witness of something. It could be that your name has been given to us for another reason. It doesn't mean you're in trouble. There could be any number of reasons why an officer may need to speak with you.
100%, yeah. I mean, this is what I'm saying. I mean, if there was police correspondence that he was looking to deliver, then I thought that might be on the system. I mean, can you check if there's any correspondence?
I can't.
Or letters?
I don't have the facility to do that. We don't have a system that looks at what correspondence has been put together for somebody. But let me see if I can make inquiries in the way that I can. What date and time did they come?
It was yesterday at about 3:30.
Yesterday. 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm assuming? Yep.
That's right.
3:30. And you only saw one officer, as far as you could tell?
Yeah, from what I could see.
The CCTV, is it situated outside your door so you can physically see the officer?
I couldn't quite see his face. You could see, it's kind of pointing down at the door, but it's...
okay.
But you could see it. You could see it. It was the guy in a sort of police officer's uniform, just as a kind of wide outside, in the kind of 1% chance that, for some reason this guy wasn't a police officer, and that's why you haven't got it on your record. Can I sort of put that in to be verified? Because ultimately, a guy's come to my door. I've gone on the chat window, and they've said that there isn't any details, and you haven't got any details, and I'm sure it was a police officer, but obviously there's a slim chance that it's somebody that maybe wasn't a police officer, and then we're in a situation where it could have been anybody coming to.
If it transpires that, as far as we're concerned, no genuine officer has had reason to come to your house, and therefore by default there is a concern that this is someone who's dressed themselves to look like a police officer, then yes, we would take further details of that. Okay.
Okay. So how will we verify if that transpires?
Mr. McLeod, let me deal with one thing at a time. Let me take some details from you, and then I will see if I can put something to officers that were on duty at that time. We'll need to take things one step at a time. There's no point jumping ahead because there may be no need to jump ahead.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure it probably, in every likelihood, it was a real police officer. But I'm just saying, I don't want to rule that out, as weird as that sounds.
No, that's fine. And that's something, that's why we would take details as well. It's the same if someone had a phone call, and they said this person said they were a police officer or said they were from, we would want to rule out, first of all, that it wasn't a genuine inquiry. And then if it wasn't, okay, what are we dealing with then? And it's exactly the same thing. Okay? So the first thing just to do is to take some details so that we can make that inquiry as best we can, so that we can establish if it was a genuine officer. This can be sorted out very, very simply. Okay? The best number to come back to you on, what would that be, please?
My telephone number is 07576.
Yeah.
713.
Yeah.
026.
Lovely, thank you. What I've done is I'm creating a report under your address and under your name. I can give you the reference number for that.
So what kind of report is that? Is that a report of crime or a report of...
No, it's a log number. It's an incident number.
Okay, cool.
It's basically saying this is a situation that needs further investigation.
Okay, cool.
Okay. That reference number is 434.
Okay.
Okay, and that's of today's date, the 20th of March. How you write that date is entirely up to you. We don't mind, as long as you recognise it as a date.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
If I've got that footage of the police officer, that would be the easiest way to identify it. If I go that to the police, would they be able to identify?
Well, at the moment, if we can identify it by the circumstances, by an officer saying yes, actually, I did try and see that gentleman yesterday. If we can do it by that means, then there's no need for that. If we can't, then yes, it may well be that an officer has to view that to be able to identify which officer we're talking about. But
there would be no harm in me submitting that to a police station if I've got, if I just pop it past on a USB stick, they can upload it to that log, and if it's irrelevant evidence, then it can be disregarded, and if it does become relevant... All I'm saying is that at the moment, I can say that you've got that footage, and if we need to have it from you, I don't want you having a wasted trip to go to this police station when we may not need to do that. So that's why I say let's take one thing at a time. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate I understand you don't want me to go out of my way, but I'm just suggesting that if I did attach that to that log 434, then that would be assistant in verifying it. But I understand there's probably, in every likelihood, he probably was a real police officer, and I'm sure they'll be able to find out who it was and why he was attending. I'll include it on there. It may be very useful to us, okay? I'm assuming that it appeared to be a male officer that you saw? Yeah, he appeared to be male.
Yeah, you got the impression that it was a male officer? Okay.
Yeah, and it was, like I said, you can clearly see the first two numbers of his shoulder number were 44, but you couldn't quite see. I think it was 445, and then it was either like a 6 or an 8. You couldn't quite see.
Not quite sure. Yeah, that's okay. And they rang at the doorbell. And did they ring more than once?
My doorbell hasn't got.
On the door?
My doorbell doesn't work at the moment. They sort of knocked on the door as I was walking up the stairs, and I could sort of see somebody sort of maybe stood outside, but as I said, I was just on the phone, and I kind of like just walked upstairs and carried on my phone call, and then I checked my CCTV sort of 2 minutes later, and I could see that actually it looked like a police officer with a sort of a brown envelope in his hand.
Did they knock more than once for you?
I don't
remember?
know. Yeah, I mean,
don't remember.
It looks like it from the footage. Yeah, They sort of knocked, and then he sort of had a little walk around into my garden, and then he actually tried to open the front door with his hand, which was. Right. I mean, are they allowed to do that?
Well, I can't say. It depends on the reason they were coming to see you.
This is it. I mean, this is why I kind of thought it must be important if he's sort of like walking around like looking through my windows and kind of like trying to open the door. It kind of it presents to me that it must have been urgent, which is kind of why I was a bit alarmed when I went on 101 chat and they said we don't know who this is, and then I was kind of like. Then I've phoned you, and you've got no record either. But I understand it could have been just literally somebody, somebody's found my lost property or something, and he's handing a letter on his way home. It's no big deal, and it's just a bit of correspondence they wanted to deliver or whatever. It could have been.
So he tried to try the door, then he seemed to try the handle, and then he tried to put an envelope through the door. Is that right? Is that the order?
Yeah, he knocked on the door, and then he went round and like walked in a little way. It looked like he might have walked into my front garden. I think so you can sort of see the lounge window on the ground floor. So he sort of like walked round to the left of the camera. You mean? Well, I don't know if he went to the window, but I know that he went. He walked off as if he was walking through the garden logically. It would, he was like a minute, half a minute or so, and then he sort of came back, tried to open the door, let himself in, and then was going to post a letter, but my letterbox isn't working at the moment, so he sort of opened it up and then just walked off with the letter with him.
And that appeared to be like a brown envelope.
He was in that. He was in a dog van, which was a bit unusual. It wasn't in like a normal squad car. He was in a van, kind of like it's like I'm assuming it's a dog van. I don't really know. It was like a sort of converted pickup truck. Haven't seen any officers driving around in one of those.
A converted pickup truck.
Yeah.
Was it marked?
It had all the normal whatever it's called.
Did it have our signage on?
Yeah, it had livery on it. I don't know that it said Devon and Cornwall Police, but it had livery on it. It was sort of like a white pickup truck.
When you say livery, what do you mean by that?
That's what the checker pattern is called.
The checker pattern. So so I didn't know whether you said when you said livery. I don't know whether you're talking about the actual word livery on it.
No.
So it had our checkered.
Yeah, so livery is like what you have. That's your like done up like a police car kind of thing. So I mean,
it had our emblem on it. It had our logo.
I couldn't really see. It was parked up the road. I just sort of like when I was just at the end of the phone call. It's when I looked out the window, saw that there was a police car there, and then thought, like maybe that was them knocking on my door. And then I finished the phone call, checked the cameras, and then it was. But by that time he was gone. But and
it looked like a van. You might have a dog, a police dog, that kind of.
Yeah, it was like a pickup truck. It was like a long wheelbase vehicle with like, with kind of like, I just haven't seen one like it before. I normally see the police driving around in sort of Land Rovers or, the normal saloon cars. It was, I don't know that it was a dog van, but it was a police car that I haven't, it was kind of, it was quite specific. It'd be easier to identify who it was if you could find out that was the vehicle he was using at the time.
Right.
But yeah,
what then I'll do now is I'll put all those details forward and I'll make some inquiries now with our control room and with log 434.
And can I take your details, please?
Yes, of course. You can take my shoulder number. It's 53157.
2 seconds.
No worries.
53157, and you are Dawn.
My first name is Dawn. Yeah.
Have I got a second name or?
I obviously I do, but I tend to give out just my shoulder number and my first name, and that identifies me. The shoulder number does so.
Okay, cool. Where are you based? Are you at the control room?
I'm based in Plymouth.
In Plymouth, cool. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So if you leave that with me, I will be looking at this as soon as possible. I can't give you a specific timescale for coming back to you, but please be rest assured that I will give this immediate attention so that someone can look into this, so that you can be assured. And obviously pointed in the right direction if it was someone wanting to make contact and inquiries with you. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've emailed 101 with the with the details. I'm hoping they're going to get back to me pretty soon.
Right, you've emailed them as well, have you? Okay.
Yeah, I've contacted them. So
okay,
that's cool. All right, thanks so much for your help, Dawn.
All right, you're very welcome.
I will look forward to. So, am I expecting a call back from you or from somebody?
I'd like to think somebody will come back to you today. It will either be myself, depending on the circumstances, or if I can identify somebody and I can pass it on to them, then they will probably come back to you.
Okay,
we'll make sure that you get some sort of response back, sir. Okay.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. Thanks for your help.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you. Take care.
Bye bye.